My name is Paul. I'm a grateful recovering addict. Good morning, family. I'm going to introduce Rob to you, and I just want to tell a little story. That there was a newcomer in a meeting a few weeks ago. She said, "I don't understand this making phone call stuff. Like, am I supposed to pick up the phone when I want to use, and you're going to come and rescue me? And like I just don't get it. I just, it's not going to happen." And her sharing made me realize that, like, my attitude towards phone calls, and it's like I used to think it was making me getting used to picking up the phone when I'm isolating, but it's really making me love myself, because if somebody picks up the phone, I talk to them, they accept me, it helps me accept myself. And Rob is a former sponsee brother of mine, and he lives in the suburbs. I live in the city. I don't have a car, so we talk on the phone a lot. And in this relationship with Rob, talking over years, has really helped me love myself. And he's been an inspiration to me. I've seen I've seen him change his life, and really take responsibility for a lot of stuff that really, in this program, is the kind of thing that helps me think it's possible for me. So please welcome Rob.
Hi everybody. This one. Hi everybody. Either one. I'm an addict. My name's Rob. Thank you very much, Paul. We were just asked if there was someone introduced, so we didn't know. That's how you guys do it out here. I'm from Chicagoland region, Narcotics Anonymous. I'm glad there's not a lot of people here. I didn't expect a lot of people here. 9 a.m. Saturday morning. I'm nervous. My first sponsor told me very early in my recovery, probably a few weeks clean, you're going to stick around, Rob, and stay clean. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I should set that down. So I'll touch on the topic, and we'll see what happens. I did a good job of praying beforehand up in the balcony to my God. I did a good job of not trying to script this shit, because I know I could try to sound cool. I got a couple black key tags, and we're from Chicagoland region. There's a lot of us out there, a lot of clean time, and with the topic of getting out of our own way, one of the first things I thought of was just that's recovery in a nutshell. I couldn't get out of my own way before I came here and followed the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. I'm real big on the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. Any moment my guy will start talking to me. So I'm a fan of the literature, right? Everybody's a fan of literature, especially out here, it seems, right? Every workshop or speaker thing I heard of, and I am too. On the side note, I'm a fan of literature, but I'm a fan of your experience too. I could stay home and read the damn literature. But I got the book on my phone then, and the first sentence of the subchapter is just profound enough for me. Of so much of our experience is a result of our perception, right? When I was new, I would have been like, "That sounds cool." I don't fucking understand it. That sounds cool, right? I've worked through the 12 steps of NA, and I can tell you, as a result of my perception of working through the 12 steps, I came from a person who hated himself for what he did to get that next fix, right? And who he hurt to get that next fix, to a person of a pretty good self-acceptance. I got some work to do, but I have so much more self-acceptance. And it gets iffy. My thoughts contradict each other a lot, or I question my thoughts a lot, because I'm like, do I have to accept myself before I love myself? And right now I don't kind of think so, because I think I love myself a lot. I'm kind of a big guy. I got a gut. Came in recovery, started eating after I got clean, right? And I'm happily married. out by me, or anywhere in our culture, well, a lot of Americans are overweight, but you know, you got to be skinny to be attractive. So I think, you know, even though I'm happily married, I should be skinnier than I am and shit like that. But my wife loves me for who I am, and I love her for who she is, you know. And I've learned through the 12 steps a lot of. I remember I had like, let's say 3 or 4 years clean. I'm up here to share my experience, right? Of working on the self-acceptance IP with my sponsor a lot, over his suggestion. I'm big into sponsorship and the steps. My sponsor knows me well, and I must have been complaining about myself a lot, because he's like, let's dissect the self-acceptance IP, and let's write on it, and get to accept yourself, you know. And it helped a lot, because I'm overweight, but I've been taking results, or steps to get results over the past, since the end of August, almost 3 months now. I've been working out, and I'm not expecting to get super slim overnight. I'm doing more lifting than cardio and shit, but and then after a few months, I noticed some bulk up here where I want it and shit, and it feels good. It feels good. I used to take naps constantly. I remember my second sponsor. We lived together for a little while. I had 2-3 years clean, and I was working part-time. I dropped my wife and son off at school and work, and I'd come home and take a nap. And he was a cool guy, but he was like, you gotta stop coming home and taking a nap. Like, go do shit, you know? Live life. And I was just, I like naps. Well, it really was, I like naps, but I was lazy. They're at work, I'm just gonna take a nap, you know? And I'm not up here like anti-naps, but it was another way to escape reality. I wasn't comfortable being myself. I couldn't sit there and watch TV. You know, it's only been the past year. I could go through a whole episode of TV now without having to check my Facebook. I can't just sit there. Even though watching TV is not really just sitting there. I remember, I don't know what I was getting to with that, but I'm glad I'm just getting somewhere, of the naps. Since I started working out, I take less naps. I get more energy. I'm not here saying, everybody work out. But I got more energy, so I get more shit done around the house. Excuse my language. Now my house looks nicer, right? My bedroom, I make my bed, I clean my dresser and stuff. It's no dusty no more. I like coming home to a clean house, you know? My current sponsor taught me that a lot. His house is like pristine, and I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, I take care of my shit now that I'm clean, you know? It didn't come overnight, but I take care of my stuff, you know? So getting out of our own way, I could think of control. I should look at a clock too. About 20 minutes total, right? I could think of control. We were talking before. Anybody here know how many times the word control is written in the first step of the basic text? I do. My sponsor had me look it up one time. Control, you know, one of the traits of addiction. It's been a big part of my in my recovery, but a big part of me. The steps help me with that, but it takes a lot of getting out of my own way. Anybody here, you know, this was my experience, all right? And I'm not one of those super old timers, and I like to share my clean time though often of a little over 7.5 years, March 30th of 08. Now you guys. And I know, it's funny, I had a convention, that ain't a lot of clean time, right? But for an addict like me, it's a lot, right? When I got clean at 23, all right? There was out by me, I don't know how I've been to a regular meeting out here yet, I hope to someday, but out by me in the Chicago, west suburbs area of the Chicagoland region, a lot of meetings have a format after they do the key tags. They go, anybody with a year or more clean time to show that this program works, raise a hand. Right? And when I came in and people raised their hand like that, I was like, you guys are gods, right? 1 year clean, holy crap. And I asked one guy before, I'm like, you got a whole year clean? He's like, I got 3 years clean, you know? Like, I just had to have 1 year clean, right? Now I'm here 7.5 years later, and it's not so much the clean time. The clean time's a personal thing. I don't want to lose it. You know I never have to use it again. I got clean at 23, and I felt like my life was over with. It's so much better. I turned 30 last year. I'm 31, right? When I turned 30 last year, guys, in July of 2014, I was crying like a baby, right? Because I thought I wasn't going to live to be 25. All my friends were fucking going to prison or dying, overdosing. We didn't get shot a lot. We live in the suburbs, you know, so we overdose. We do too much. Or we get a bad batch, or a batch too good for us. You know, I remember plenty of times of I could handle another bump. No, you can't. I remember plenty of times thinking, How about this? You know, when you think you're overdosing and you're okay with it, right? I've been there, shooting pool in a pool hall. I remember it clearly. I later on worked at that pool hall, thinking, "Oh shit, I can't keep my eyes open, so I'm just going to go to the bathroom and fade out." And I went to the bathroom and didn't, and I was kind of pissed. But anyways, getting out of our own ways, the topic. Other stuff I could think of is service. Thank God for service. You know, I do H&I once a month. I do PR once a month. But my favorite is NA Behind the Walls. You guys hear about that out here, right? Because and if God permits, I'll talk into the college thing. I went to college and got a degree in criminal justice after I got clean. So I found I can mix my passion of criminal justice and rehabilitating criminals and addicts, whatever outside shit. But my passion besides NA, I found in recovery. I have two through NA Behind the Walls, and I write 2 inmates that I knew in person out by me that are locked up now from using. And one of my old former using buddies introduced me to crack. I write him now. I did a 9-step in June, I think. He's in prison in Wisconsin, about 8 hours or 6 hours from me. And I drove up there and did a 9-step with him, and we write back and forth. So I have 5 inmates in prison. He's not sure he's an addict, and that's on him. But I just do service to mankind. Service in the fellowship to keep our fellowship alive, but service to mankind. You know, getting out of my own way. Because, you know, before I came to NA, I thought, like, you just got to stop using drugs, right? That's my problem. I use drugs too much. Stop using drugs. And I learned through recovery, it's not just stopping, it's replacing it. You know, it's replacing with the spirituality of our program. You know, man, I love NA. I hope I'm staying on topic. I'm starting to get that flow. I love you guys. I love talking recovery. You know, I love it. I love seeing heads nod of recognition. You know, I didn't have this back before I got clean. We didn't talk about this shit. We just talked about who we're going to rip off. You know, that's what we talked about. Often I was that guy getting ripped off. Something, and the thing I did think of, like, that I do want to touch on, though, and my time's probably, 21, cool, is I went through a phase, let me take a sip, right? My experience. Why I love recovery. When I got clean, I was engaged to my wife. She's a non-addict. She had her own problems being engaged to an addict. And my son was 19 months old, right? And I got clean. And after I was clean for a year, I was thinking maybe this will work for the long run. Once I had about 2 years clean, I thought this is going to work. This could work. But after a year clean, I'm like, this might work for the medium, you know, that 5-year plan people talk about outside the room, you know. And so I grew up not poor, but on the lower end of middle class, and didn't have big Christmases. And I have a kid, so I'm like, after a year clean, I'm like, I'm tired of making nothing, work-wise, working for you know, low pay. So let's go to college and maybe I can make some more money and have nice stuff for my son. So with a year and a half, I enrolled in college, and 3 years and 9 months later, I got a bachelor's in criminal justice with honors. Not the whole pat myself, but I'm the junkie in the family. My parents are non-addicts. My sister's a non-addict. My mom dropped out sophomore year. My dad worked his ass off his whole life to make a decent living. And I went to college in my senior year of college. Right, when I went to college for criminal justice, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I like criminal justice shit. While I was in college, I decided I want to work probation. I want to help people, right? That service stuff. I found compassion and empathy and sympathy for people after working through some steps and loving myself and connecting with the higher power and shit. As my wife laughs up when I start talking about higher powers, I say shit a lot. You swear with spirituality. It doesn't work with her, it works with me, though. We have different gods, it's cool. Anyways, so my senior year, I got into a job in my field, but not probation. In Illinois, Northern Illinois, you have to have a bachelor's degree to even apply to be probation officer. So I got my field, like, foot in the door, you know? And then I graduated, and I sent out all this paperwork, and I'm working my job, and like 6 or 9 months later, I think 6 months later, I got a rejection letter. The school I went to wasn't accredited enough. Because I didn't think of this stuff beforehand. I went to ITT Tech. Now, like, it's a little. I didn't have to, like, get in. I just had to show up, you know, which is good because I, like, skated by a high school. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get into a real one if I tried. Don't even waste. Well, I don't know. Anyways, when I got that rejection letter, guys, I was heartbroken. I remember I came home from work, I checked the mail, probation department, whatever. I'm like, yes, and I walk in, my family's setting up dinner and stuff, my wife and son, and I open it in the kitchen with them, and I'm reading and rejected, and I had to run to my bedroom and cry because I don't want to cry in front of my son, which is nothing I'm proud of in a sense. I teach him it's okay to cry. But I was, oh my God, you're a loser. And it took me a few weeks of a lot of talking with my sponsor, a lot of sharing, and my sponsor helped me out so much. Rob, you've been in a job for over a year now in your field that you like. I investigate insurance claims, and I love what I do, and I got good at it. I've been there 3 years now, and I love what I do. Maybe you weren't meant to be probation, you know? Maybe you were meant to do this. And it took a little bit, but getting out of our own way, because I was dead set. I have to be probation officer. No, I don't. I can't. I could go back to school for 4 more years. Screw that. I'm in enough debt. Right? And then, this is funny because it's like where I'm at right now, and I'll end with soon. It's like it repeated itself because that was about 2 years ago, right? Then after I've been doing my job for 2 years, one of my coworkers was like, you should start your own PI business in Illinois. And I looked into it, and I had enough of the education and the work history to do it, right? So I took a test. I signed up, and I studied a little bit because I thought I knew everything. And I took a test this past March, failed hardcore, right? They offer it every March and September. Then I'm like, I take it again. I'm like, I'm going to take it in September, and I studied so hard all summer, so hard. Spent money on all these books and renting Amazon. Even to rent books is expensive. But anyways, I took it in September, and I failed again. But you know what, man? Getting out of my own way, I know through this program, and I don't think I'm going to take it again. I think I'm pursuing other shit. And I don't have to be from point A to point B. Let's enjoy the ride and get out of our own way and enjoy the fucking ride, you know? Excuse my swear now, you know? I'll end with this, and Paul, who introduced you, thank you for coming, Paul. I get awkward in convention. I don't like conventions much. I have to force myself to go kind of. I like people that I know. And I like small groups or large meetings, but not this large, right? My first sponsor said, if you're going to stick around, stay clean, get comfortable being uncomfortable, you know? I have to force myself to do this. So Marlo on the committee, I believe is how you pronounce her name, Marlo. She was up here and by me in August at my home group and asked me to come down here and, you know, one last thing I'll say is, you know how great it is to make somebody else happy, of ask them to do something, like to compliment. You know, it's a compliment when someone says, hey, would you like to come to St. Louis and do a workshop? Like, me? The guy that used to hate himself? You know, can I help carry the message and then come here and listen? Now I'm excited to listen and visit your arch gateway. Right? So thank you for being here, and I feel good now. I can't wait to hear you. I love you. I don't know you, but I love you guys, brothers and sisters, and I'll keep coming back.